Alright, let's get that coffee going. Get them gaming news going too. See what is up. Charge it. Charged it. Turn it on now. Come on. Come on. Alright, turn it on. There we go. Get the cam. One sec. And let's go. Some more Z notes after. I'll get some more of that. And some more gonna be on Friday too, in the morning. Yeah, the second half of the day is gonna be already Jagged Alliance 3. And we're gonna see that one in action too. A lot of tactical turn-based this week. A lot of it. A lot of it. Feels good, eh? There we go. The Boomer series continue. We'll see if it'll be actually a good continuation for it. Alright, get that water. Get the coffee. Alright. And there's in general a bunch of good stuff coming out soon. Some of that indie stuff, mostly. Some good things to play nonetheless. The Testament, I think, is out soon too. That one looked mighty interesting. And I might be actually checking that one out. I might. Sea of Stars. Well, that's already a bit later, though. That's already in August. It's more like, this week. Or next week, I mean. Gonna be some good stuff there already. Which is nice. Which is nice. So I'm gonna be off tomorrow, Thursday. Then on Friday, Jagged Alliance. On Saturday, we'll see how the Jagged Alliance will go. And also, I think Testament is pretty much the same time as the Jagged Alliance. So if they will answer and stuff, then, well, I mean, they contacted me already about it. I just answered a little later. See how long it will take them to answer. So I'm gonna probably play it on a release. That one looked mighty interesting. What do you think? So I'm gonna check that one in action. There we go. Do right. Come on. A little more. Somewhere there. I know you're there. Yes. Correct. Right. These days off, at least not gonna be any crazy plans. Gonna finally have time to do some stuff. Way too much stuff I'll need doing. Way too much stuff needs doing. Still didn't even unplug the laptop. Can I get that? Can I get it running? Check so everything's good, eh? To find where's my flash drive and stuff. So I can install Windows, yeah? I will also need for my dad's new laptop. Then probably will need to reinstall stuff when I will be... Well, I mean, I will be needing to reinstall stuff on the new small factor PC, right? Then I will need to reinstall it on my old one. That will give away to my grandma to use, eh? Like, bro. Gonna be a lot of installing and reinstalling of stuff. I hate that stuff. To get all the drivers, install everything, all the apps and things that you had going before. The whole adventure, man. The whole adventure. And the gamer grandma, yeah. Well, I mean, it's gonna be pretty much just the CPU, really, though. Because GPU is gonna go with me. Don't remember which one is in her PC right now. I think it's some like a really old. Gonna plug that in, I guess. Probably just have some GPU. Because mine I'm gonna take in with me in format of a small factor PC. I'll give it to my dad, and my dad could give my old one that already is at his place that he's using to my grandma, but that would be just like too many jumps and too many reinstalling and removing things, so whatever. It's just the passing of the PCs in the family, basically. Like my dad has mine, my grandma has my brother's old one. Now again, my old one goes down there. I guess my brother's one gonna be retired now. I need to keep an eye also on the Discord. I think his brother gonna message me. The stuff need to arrange. Gotten his second trip to asylum to avoid going to the army. And this time they give you phone for like 30 minutes a day, I think. And he needs his fucking Genshin dailies farmed. So I guess I'm gonna be for like a week or something grinding that shit too. Perfect timings and everything. Like last time he was doing that, but yeah, this time it's only 30 minutes of phone usage allowed per day. Hope he's not gonna be there long. And it's probably at least a week or something. Well, at least until a weekend. But most likely even in the next week, probably. Last time it was a week. Even the weekend there is completely useless because you like literally do nothing. And there is already no doctors doing anything in the weekend, so you just pretty much chill there. And it's kind of not the best place to chill, you know. Even though maybe for the weekend they will give phones for longer at least, but still. Hope at least that's gonna be the last visit. It's gonna be free after that. Free from more asylums and free from the army. That would be nice. Oh, that would be nice. Man, like August, I can already smell gonna be like all over the place. It's gonna be the fiesta month. Preparing for all the move and stuff. Like even all this like installing Windows and all the software on like 4. You have 4 based on, wait, you have 4 different like PCs and laptops. That's gonna be already like minus day or two on all that shit. Getting all things set. At least building my small factory I can do on stream, and I will. That's gonna be at least good. Other than that, you expect August gonna be like completely garble month. I usually take like 2 weeks off, but yeah, this August probably gonna be like pretty much the whole month off probably. But then in September though, I'm gonna go ham. I still will try to like make some. Like for now I'm planning. I'll try. I'll talk with the parents. I'll try to maybe go to their summer house, my mom's summer house, for like a week, and I'm gonna be visiting there next week, I think, for my mom's birthday. I'm gonna try to check out like one local ISP with good mobile internet. If it's good there, then I might try to go there for like a week or so and just stream from there, basically. Like smaller streams, obviously, and stuff, but some like, you know, barbecuing, sauna, and there's some pool there action too, so maybe we'll get that section visited too, you know. Some incentives for them donos, man. Started firing up the AC. Don't stay with AC. Now we have like, it's kind of fresh right now. Like my feet are kind of cold even. Standing on the tiles here. So yeah, might be like a week regular streams in the beginning, maybe already kind of semi-scuffed, then a week of these like summer house streams, and then I'm gonna be probably like off or something. September I'll be back for sure though. September the goal is already to be there. I just hope the dude who is already there right now, our friend, I kinda hope he's gonna, since he's already there, has a place where to stay and everything. Hope he already, by the time we arrive, at least like find some options where we can rent. If he doesn't want to decide without us, but still, so at least we can, you know, arrive, go somewhere, and already get somewhere instead of like staying for a couple of days in some sort of hotel or something and looking for options. So if he takes care of some of those things, that will be super good. And the downtime will be way less, because like the trip itself gonna be also like minus 3 days of live basically. It's like evening plane for some reason, like the good, well, the like reasonably priced ones that we can get. It's like you basically leave in the evening and you arrive at night. So then we will need to probably just not even going to sleep or anything. Then we go on a train at like 2 p.m. or something. It's like 12 hours of us just being awake wandering in Yerevan, probably. And then hopping on the train. And then it is also like 16-hour train. And at least you arrive in the morning, but yeah, that's still basically 2 days gone. Kind of low-key hope they will get like direct flights sorted out with reasonable prices, but I kind of doubt it. It's funny because like direct flights they opened, but it's literally cheaper to fly through some third country than go in direct flight. Like, come on, dude. The greed of those people. That's how it usually goes, huh? Like they form prices not from, you know, how much they need to cover expenses and get a little profit, some percent, but they form prices from, you know, how much people will pay. So they like started first direct flights were like ridiculously expensive. And then they slowly started dropping them, and I guess kind of seeing, you know, all right, we dropped it to this price. We got the full plane. All right, that's a good price then. Keep it. Oh, now it's less people. All right, fine. Now we start dropping it a bit. All right, let's go. If you go not with the direct flight, it will take more time, a little more annoying, then it's way cheaper. Not even to mention like trains and everything. Then it's even cheaper. All right, let's go. Let's go. Microsoft cutting more people, laying off more people from the support department and sales. All right, let's see. What do we have? Oh, there's some Amazon Prime Day stuff going on. Can get some Giga discounts if you have it there. Probably. But not sure how Giga. But there are some. Oh, there are some. All right, there we go. I got the coffee. And there it is. Done. Here we go. True, true. The usual, the usual. Yeah, as long as you get the package and everything, after a month at least doesn't sound that bad. After a long time though, when you got used to it, I guess. Let's see. The Euro Truck Simulator 2 showed the screenshots of the DLC about the Western Balkans. Damn, son. And the Balkan countries now too, huh? GOG absolutely with no reason released the collection of games with bears. What a twist. Absolutely no reason indeed, eh? And the female troop, I guess you also translate that one. Like the theater stuff, making a musical based on Final Fantasy 16. It's gonna be very innovative, and the premiere is in 2024. Then the Final Fantasy musical. Capcom showed the release trailer of Exoprimal and told about the content support of the game. We'll see how that one will go. The last Steam Fest was the biggest one in the whole history of Steam. The next fests. The most popular games were House Flipper 2, Lies of P, and The Invincible. The Invincible demo was nice, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like more of a like walking sim interactive movie of sorts, I guess. But it's still good though. It's an interesting way to kind of like might be a good way to adapt more books in this format. I have a feeling. Theoretically, Lies of P wasn't a part of the next fest though. I mean, I guess, yeah, that is true. Well, I mean, it was kind of listed as the next fest, right? And then the list of the most popular and stuff. So I guess. But you could just get like more books, you know, represented like that. Just this kind of like interactive format. Like way more accessible for modern audience, I guess. Doesn't like reading, you know. Like instead of making movies and everything, which is also good, but movies usually kind of have more constraints on playing and everything, right? Like you need to get the actors and everything. Then it's kind of like more of a third person thing, right? Like you are not exactly in. And in the game it's kind of better. It's like way more immersive. Like in Invincible, for example, you know, like you don't really see much of the main hero whatsoever. You only have voices there and everything. Then here you can like go way longer in terms of like time, so you don't need to like cut things for the movie. And you can get like way more, like you can get more optional things in, right? Like you can't really do optional stuff in the movie, for example. That's why like they kind of like cut a lot of things to make it all, you know, like exciting. The pacing is good and stuff. You need to keep that in mind. Not can just like transform the book, drop the book right there. In the game, you can just like drop a bunch of lore and like some notes. Like who wants? There it is. You don't want? Well, continue. Very good. It is very good. The most popular is always Mos Corpa. I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. It's actually kind of other way around. Like, there's not that many usually, like some AAA demos or something in Next Fest. There are some, but like Invincible, not really that Corpa. House Flipper is, yeah, it's you know, it's just the how do you say, like the second part of like the viral game sort of. Lies of P, I guess you could kind of say that it's Corpa because it's what was its name? Neovis or something, right? So it's I guess kinda Corpa in a way, but I wouldn't say so really. And yeah, like what was like last time or before last time, like Dark and Darker, kind of like you know, it's not Corpa, it's getting fucked by Corpa if anything, you know. Let's put it that way. So yeah, not really, not really. Yeah, if they would be doing like more AAA demos and everything, that they probably would. They probably would get some good spots in the top. But I still don't think it's like the most corporate gets the most stuff there. It's kind of more like whoever gets the good impulse from the start, those gonna go ham. Like the Manor Lords 1 year was like super popular, right? It's just like settlement building, kind of very niche thing, but it somehow got like propelled super hard and super high up there, like one of the most popular ones. I think they even like farmed like some really high up in wish lists and everything there too. Well, it's like completely unpopular, like well, not unpopular, but you know, not super popular genre and everything too. And in general, there's a lot of like RPGs and stuff there all the time. Like, well, the only games that are like going there almost guaranteed though is if it's some co-op stuff. Now the co-op games are like multiplayer, like kind of like you know, gang beasts, you know, this kind of stuff. That shit goes hard usually, and that's for sure. But other than that, I think like anyone has a chance. I think anyone can get some decent opportunity. Not to mention you don't even need to go like super top to get something good. Like I'm always forgetting what was the name of that one. Oh, the Raidborn, right? The Raidborn was on Next Fest with the demo. It wasn't like somewhere crazy up top, but I mean, that was pretty happy with the result, and I think release went pretty well too. So you still get some decent amount, I would say. Multiple game developers told that they're waiting Baldur's Gate 3, but they don't want that game to be called the new standard of RPGs. Like, not everyone can afford to work the same way as Larian, and not everyone has such experience and technologies. Damn, son, they already started with excuses even before the game is out, I see. A regular get like 500 wishlists, I see, alright. I mean, that's nice. That is nice. Well, if you get like the stream and everything going too, it might be good. It might be good. That sounds good. Larian can pump out these games so quickly. I mean, I wouldn't say really that quickly. It's just that they're not like compared to others, they're not afraid to just kind of, you know, like drop it in the early access and then work on it more already in public pretty much for like how much, like 3, 4 more years. 3 years probably, right? It's already been in early access. And yeah, they got the technology, right? They kind of basically just making Divinity. Divinity went well. Well, there's the second one, there's, you know, the third one, but it's Baldur's Gate 3rd now. Divinity Early Access down. Well, the Divinity Early Access probably was a little like more chunky though, or something. I would assume 20% of the game probably was a bit more prepared there. Wait, was George Sawyer actually talking about that? I see. All right, interesting. The G.E. Sawyer. All right. Yeah, what sort of budget that was? I mean, the thing is, like, you don't. I don't know. That just makes it like sound like weird for them, in my opinion. Especially like from Obsidian, basically with G Sawyer, like they can do like decent RPGs. Like not everything needs to be super crazy good, right? Like you know, just make some decent game. You don't need to make a masterpiece every time. After all, it's fine. But when you start like getting these excuses, it just kind of like sounds as you know like a little diminishing towards the other game. Like yo, don't consider it like you know the new standard and everything. I think that's good. It should like up you know the ceiling, but it doesn't mean that you know there's no life at the bottom. Then there would be like majority of like indie market really then. Not to mention that again, you can just go other direction instead of just trying to make like more of those RPGs and try to take a twist, try to take a turn, do something else. Oh, everything has to be voice acted thanks to Lara. Okay, I see. Well, with voice acting, I do kind of agree, but I think it's not exactly Larian's fault though. Like, there's a lot of games and not just RPGs that you know go full voice acting mode nowadays. And it's just in general kind of like a sign of like high production. As soon as like there is a publisher, you can see even like in many indie games that I played, for example, at least like some few quests in the beginning and stuff, they're gonna be voice acted. Maybe everything else is not, but at least some stuff gonna be voice acted for sure. Like that's something that all the publishers and stuff investing a lot. And I think it's not exactly because you know Larian made games voice acted and suddenly everyone likes voice acting. It's just that, you know, like the audience nowadays rather play something with voice acting, and if you don't have it, then you are, you know, behind. So it's not like Larian kind of like stepping up the game for the market. They just kind of like matching the market themselves. Like if you can do it, I think it's fine. in relation to old school themed RPGs. I don't know. That's still kind of weird though. Like you can make old school RPG and still voice acted, right? And you can still make it without voice. Like I don't think voice acting is something that is kind of like like the defining thing. Like oh, it's voice acted. Oh no, that can't be old. That's some Zoomer shit now, or something like this. Like no, and the voice acting is just like quality of life thing, in my opinion. For many people, that's a decisive factor, right? Because a lot of people don't want like a lot of like, well, was it Blakey actually recently asking like some like TTS like program or plugin that will read for you in some games, because a lot of people just I don't know don't like reading. I guess I don't mind. I like it. I don't really care for voice acting that much. And not gonna lie, like if anything, sometimes it even kind of makes me like well, not mad, but kind of like faster, dude, faster, because you already kind of like, scan through the dialogue real quick. You want to go continue, and they still talking. Hell expensive to do compared to the normal games, of course. Like, imagine like amount of text that you need. Like, holy shit. It's crazy. That's why you need like the tech then. Like, implement that AI, get some like voice actors that will, or like, I don't know, like, yeah, probably, that will agree to kind of like, just like kind of sell their voice for the AI to use, just like teach AI their voice. Like that's probably gonna be the case in my opinion. Like the voice actors and some people probably even gonna be using just like regular people probably or something. Just like selling like the rights to use your voice for one game by the AI or something. They're just gonna like teach AI from someone's voice and then just like automatically do all the voice acting. I feel there's gonna be a bunch of that really. Pillars was riding the wave. Pillars, not really. Pillars 1, they had no voice acting, yeah. Because it was Kickstarter, it was like tight on budget. Obsidian was in a really like, really bad spot back then. They were making Armored Warfare and Soulforge or whatever. I don't remember, like the two like basically completely not their games for Russian publishers just to make some dough. So they didn't make any voice acting. But the second Pillars was, if I remember correct, I haven't played it yet myself, right? But what people said, it was like pretty much fully voice acted or something. So it's not like they, protecting some ideals of old school RPGing. They more like protecting, ideals of the budgeting. Because when they had money, they had no problems voice acting Pillars of Eternity 2. Protect the money, yeah. Well, I mean, it is obviously like that's the thing though. I don't think if they start making all the games with voice acting, suddenly people will start like reading, you know. No, people just stop playing them. That's it. That's the problem. And like you can't change that. Like if Larian will not do the voice acting, it doesn't mean that people will suddenly like some old school RPGs with tons of text. No. They're still not gonna play them. Like nothing's gonna change. It's just like if some studio actually adds voice acting and everything, then they're gonna get like wider, audience into them. Maybe through that, some of those people who enjoy RPGs and they will like, oh man, that's actually kind of nice, and they like, start looking, and then, well, I played everything with voice acting, so how about we play this? This is apparently good. Maybe I can read. So yeah, I don't think it's like that big of a problem. The higher initial budget, the bigger the risk. I mean, true, but that's what I'm saying. It's not like it's gonna change. Yeah, I guess they're kind of scared now because yeah, the production quality, the production value is increasing. They need to put more effort, and then yeah, you have like more money in play, more money at the table, and you don't know how it goes. But I mean, that's like in general industry now. That's pretty much how it is. No one stops them from like starting to do some smaller projects. I mean, especially for Obsidian, right? They went and did Pentiment, very small game and everything, right? With the probably not a huge budget, did quite well in my opinion. Did quite well. Same with Grounded, for example, also went pretty good. And I'm pretty sure they still can like pump some like old school RPGs and it'll be fine. Sure, maybe not gonna be like some giga profits, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just like the Microsoft already started, you know, like knocking on the door, like, yo guys, like see that shit? We need that here too. But then again, there's also Starfield and such, right? Like let's also say like, how about we not, you know, make too many planets in our games or something, you know? Like, how about we reduce the scope of our games because we can't keep up, man. And we can't keep up. And then there's some like, you know, team of like two or like one person just making some JRPG and RPG Maker, like, and you know, and selling it well, and like, you know what? I have no problems here. Yeah, that's the thing. I like reading it sometimes more than voice acting, even. I do agree. Games are too long for attention spans nowadays. Yeah, that's the thing. Like for example, with like the Spiders games, right? Like I like that. They're small. Like it's easy to commit to such RPG when it's like just a couple of dozen of hours. Like, bro, sure, let's go. Like if I know that it's gonna be like kind of fast, why not? It's way easier. I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably would like that. And just make like some smaller scale games, and get like some sort of like chapter mode or something, you know, to get good in install RPG Maker. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's just kind of like a little disingenuous and stuff to do that stuff, because if they would make something good, they would, you know, gladly make it standard. But now someone else is making good, and they like scared that, you know, the well, I mean, they're probably just kind of like scared that the next that will be out soon after like Baldur's Gate 3, which is Starfield, right? Starfield also probably gonna be pretty good and pretty big, maybe like another different dimension, but it's still gonna be like also huge. And then whoever like goes after, they're gonna be like, you know, look down at the, you know, after all this experience is like, oh man, that's kind of like shit there. Maybe that's what they're scared of. Gyotan, yeah. And that's the thing, like he can do that still. He can do those still, right? Like I think Microsoft is not like, you know, like going and like, yo guys, we need like this like Baldur's Gate there too. And even if Microsoft does that, they probably also like, you know, bring the bag, like, yo guys, make us this game now. It's just that they maybe don't want to. Maybe they want to focus on other stuff. Maybe they want to make like more like small scale, you know, games with like without too much budget and stuff, so they can experiment. I mean, then they can still do it. I don't think people will be against that. Like Pentiment also, like if you add like full voice acting and everything, I don't think people will suddenly, you know, start playing that. It's just like way too different type of game. Same with gameplay, to be honest, also. Like Baldur's Gate is still like a lot of people probably gonna be like, you know, getting in on the hype wave, and then they will be like, what the fuck is that, man? How do you play that? Turn-based tons game, you know. So not sure. Not sure, huh? Yeah, exactly, Steve. Yeah, I mean there's indie genre, right? Like that is like completely far from everything that any of those companies do, and they all kind of exist. Like sure, like probably those big like kind of developers and stuff, they like have some expectations in terms of profits and stuff, so they can't really fall in the same category as some like indie game or something. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. And about like experience and technologies, that's just like a big cup, dude. Like what kind of experience and technologies Larian has? Like sure they have them, right? But like Obsidian is on the market like since forever. Like why don't you have experience and technologies? You probably do. Not to mention that you can literally just go like, you know, to like kind of the next door basically to your neighbor. Like there's Todd sitting there. Then there is Brian Fargus sitting there too, you know, and they made the Wasteland and stuff, right? You can just like, yo, bro, like, do you have some experience with that kind of thing? You know, we need some advice here. So yeah, kind of, I don't know, weird stuff there. It wasn't only like I'm not sure. Like in one another version of this, I saw it was like Epic Games, someone else. Like there was like a bunch of companies like joining that conversation. I guess maybe Sawyer started, others joined. I'm not sure. It's kind of like interesting meta now that everyone started like, digging into like the personal, Twitters and stuff of all the people like that are big in the industry, and everyone's realizing, how much of a shit fest it is. you know. When it starts like like putting the stuff out with like, when like the Horizon devs were molding about Elden Ring, right? Like, how could you do this open world like this? It's not allowed, man. It's not by the book, not by the book, and all those things. And it's just kind of like, dude, you just realize how interesting some people might be, that you kind of attach to the company, attach to the games that they make, and you think like, man, it must be like such a, like interesting bunch of individuals that are working on those games. It must be really nice. And then you realize like, well, okay, I guess all of us have some Pipega moments sometimes. And the direct competitors. I mean, the thing is like, yeah, sure, you can mold all you want, but like, why? Like, you just look like a loser that way. Let's be real. Let's be real there. Like, sure, you can kind of criticize how others work in a way, or like where like some things that are happening. You can criticize, like, for example, like the player base, right? That player base is like more leaning towards like this, like, voice acting and stuff. When like, we want to make some more classic. I would understand that, because I mean, kind of true, but also kind of pointless to complain about it, right? It's kind of the same as talking, like people prefer watching like, super pog and hype content rather than like this, for example, right? That's true. You can complain about it or not, doesn't change a thing, it's just how it is. But why would you like go and like, like criticize someone who's doing that? Like, I don't know, like you're going talking shit about XQC or something, for example. Like, why would you do that? It's just weird. First of all, it's useless. First of all, it's not, his fault really that his viewers prefer that stuff and stuff, right? And same there, it's not their fault that market is like this. Like, I'm pretty sure, they also put a bunch of effort there to get like the pitch, the Baldur's Gate, right? The pitch to get the franchise, to get the money for that stuff and everything. Like, it's not, some like luck winning the lottery. Probably was a bunch of work in. They have a lot of studios and stuff. That studio actually maybe still even have, just probably kind of hidden as usual in Petersburg here and everything. Like, they have studios across the world. They have like a lot of people working, and they put a lot of effort into that stuff. So they kind of like won that. So I can, yeah, I don't see I don't see why I would. I mean, I would be like, it would be salty, right? It can be kind of like, man, we could do that too. We could get Baldur's Gate. I mean, like, back in the day, they kind of did work on like Icewind Dale and stuff, right? As Black Isle Studios, for example. Sure, but times change. They missed the opportunity. I'm pretty sure they could. Maybe they did the pitch, they just didn't win it or something. I don't know. And just make these impressive things, yeah. And I don't think it's like I don't think it's the competition really, honestly. Like, I see competition in like, Battle Royale, MOBA, live service games, MMOs. There I see competition because they're competing for the time of people, right? Because they're literally like running for years. And you go into that market and you compete with those who already run there for years. I can see that. With single player games, I don't really think so. Like, I mean, sure, if you like release in the same day, sorta. But in general, I don't really see it as like that much of a competition. Because it's a single player game. People like finished it, done with it. Next one. Sure, people after that, yeah, they can be like, oh man, that was so much quality of life stuff there, right? Like, the graphics are good, and like the game is huge, and the voice acting and everything, and I want every other game to be like that. But I think they're gonna be like disappointed many other times, not just with Obsidian game, for example. During the Giga Cash train, I'm pretty sure Microsoft could handle them, like get them the license if If they had something to pitch or something, maybe they did. I don't know. Like, they also have their own franchises, they're good. They have, again, like the partner franchises, like Fallout and everything. They're probably not getting it there, but I mean, there's probably a reason why they're not getting that stuff, right? They need to show something, that will be worth pitching. Holds the Baldur's Gate license? I think it's actually Wizard of the Coast, right? Wasn't it? The Dungeons and Dragons, literally. Probably. That should be literally them, I think. And like, I'm pretty sure those guys wouldn't really give a shit. Like, whoever shows them something good, they would probably handle it to them. Yeah, that's the gaming license changes, yeah. But it does belong to Wizard of the Coast, I think. I think it's just Dungeons and Dragons. Well, I mean, it should be. It's just some addition and stuff as usual, right? But I think it does belong to Wizards of the Coast. Same as, like, for example, like Planescape Torment and stuff, right? Like, that's why the newer one is like Torment Tides of Numenera, because like Planescape is also, I think, Wizard of the Coast or some other like tabletop like conglomerate or something. So yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. And yeah, I don't think like Larian is like, I mean, they probably do have a bunch of muddies because, got quite a lot but again, they succeeded like twice, right? With Divinity 1 and 2. Like, they did some other stuff, but it wasn't like anything crazy. It wasn't making like, noise too much. And I think like the studios like Obsidian, they had like way more like kind of names and that people can recognize, for example, right? Not even like mentioning like New Vegas, for example, which is like the modern classic and stuff. They probably didn't really make that much out of it though, because they were at the bottom in terms of money. Sure, but still, I don't think Larian either was like swimming in money. But they managed probably to pitch something good. They managed to get investment for that, financing, and they have this like model when, yeah, they do early access, they sell already the game and develop for next like few years. Made the actual Divinity games, yeah. And I don't think those are kind of like, glorious, successful games. Let's be real. From Belgium, America doesn't even know where that is. And again, like, yeah, that the probably higher cost of development, I would assume, than doing it in some US states, for example. But I don't know, maybe Obsidian is sitting some like in San Francisco or something, right? And pays like a shitload of money for everything. Could be. He failed hello. How you doing, man? Yeah, none of them like really made it big. Like, they literally just like exploded with 2 games, and like US Obsidian gonna be molding about it or something. Like, dude, you guys made like some classics there. A lot of those classics, well, I guess, yeah, I guess after all those years, you kind of get salty, right? You made like games that are considered classics, and then you still kind of like not really rolling in money, even though I don't think like Larian is rolling in money either. But yeah, like Fallouts, all those like classic Fallouts, New Vegas and everything, right? Like they made like a lot of like names in RPG history, and at the same time they kind of like not really making a crazy bank. So I guess you kind of get salty a bit, but still not sure. Yeah, Divine Divinity I wanted to play. I played that one back in the day. I think I bought it on GOG or something. I might play it at some point. A game programmer in the EU costs 40% of what it costs to get in the US. Interesting. Well, I mean, depends on the countries, I guess, right? And that's why probably they have like a bunch of offices, Larian, including in Russia too. So because developers here probably cost way less than anywhere else. So yeah, I guess. But I mean, who prevents you from doing the same? You know, anyone can do it. Anyone can get like some different when they're big enough already. 10-12K USD. That's actually kind of surprising. Interesting. Yeah, I thought because of all the like taxes, all the social stuff, all the especially in Sweden, right, with unions and everything, I thought like that would be way more expensive to develop stuff than there. But yeah, no one prevents you. Just open company somewhere else, pick some tax havens or like some like cheap labor force, like here for example. A lot of studios worked here. A lot of them still do. They just all kind of like PP poof magically, remove the mentions of that from their, main website and stuff. But they all still here. Like Saber here, I think still like the main forces of Saber are here working on the Space Marine 2, for example. Not to mention like Owlcat Games, right? Like some studios kind of like who were born here, they just moved to another country, but that's just one office there, and everything else is still here. And they just usually don't recruit under their usual name, but through some like recruiting company basically. That's pretty much it. Everyone is still here. Let's see what I see. But yeah, I mean like I don't know, like it does sound kind of like weird. I don't know. That would feel kind of weird if like you're making something good and someone like who you maybe even like consider as one of the like inspirations, because I'm pretty sure like a lot of like modern developers in RPG, they all kind of like can say like that Fallout and all those like the games that Black Isle made in Obsidian by kind of extension, right, and like Troika games and stuff are like inspirations and classics for them always. And then guys who made them are like, you know, you guys are like doing things wrong, just because you kind of have like better budget and you can afford make like fully voice acted and quality experience, and we don't want that. I don't know, weird. Yeah, I haven't seen BioWare molding. Yeah, like BioWare is like taking it as hard now, and they're not like, how about you guys stop, like making actual RPGs so people buy our shit too. Salty about California and not games. I mean, could be, yeah, could be that they did, but I guess like move, the well, not all company, but like make an office somewhere, make another office in another country, outsource things there and everything, min max. Like you want to go ham, you need to kind of hustle. That's the sad part, right? You make art, you go probably like kind of broke, and you make something that will be shown in some like indie festivals for art house and everything. Or you make, blockbusters with the huge budgets and everything that will be shown everywhere. But, I think they have opportunity to do like you can't really like, make art and hope that you're gonna like get the budgets of like the blockbusters and get the profits of blockbusters. Using your cloud to shit on competitors. I don't that's the thing. That is so like counterproductive and stuff. Like I don't know, like this like I mean I guess some clouds, but again it's also like the cloud in like kind of developer circle, because like most of the people they don't even know who the fuck is that, right? Like I only know basically like that name just because of like I'm Fallout enjoyer, right? So I know those names, some of them, not all of them even, right? That's why I know, but like regular person they don't. Like some random dude shitting on like Baldur's Gate 3, like fuck that dude. They probably also like he already probably got a bunch of like DMs and everything with some interesting wishes for that, most likely, right? And between like other developers, that also looks weird. Like dude is just kind of like lashing out at the fellow developers just because their game is like turning out good. The fuck, dude? Why? Like someone is successful, like just be happy for them. Just kind of like celebrate them, join them. That's actually kind of funny because Obsidian on Twitter, their account, they always like like tweet when some like other game releases, right? They always tweet some sort of like edited meme picture about it, congratulating that game for releasing, which I think is a really smart SMM stuff, right? And like social media stuff, because they kind of like stick themselves to the success of that like Twitter train, right? So like it gets like in the proper hashtags, right? So they kind of like doing a good social media management that way, let's put it that way. And they always like celebrate like other games being released, and now like, well, there you go. Now they shit on some game releasing. It's weird, eh? It's weird, eh? Just a little salty, I see. Well, maybe conversation after that started, because I heard there was a lot. Like I haven't like You said Sawyer. I didn't even like kind of. I just saw like the company names basically attached to the personalities who was complaining. So it's kind of, it already like got weaponized sort of in a way. Like instead of like someone posting on Twitter, right? It became already like, oh, this guy is from this company. Okay, this company is shitting on Baldur's Gate. Oh, this guy is like janitor and Ed in this company. So this company is shitting on Baldur's Gate. And then here's the title, like like Electronic Arts, like Epic Games, everyone is shitting on Baldur's Gate. When it's just like some random dudes on Twitter, pretty much, like not completely random, but I mean some of them probably are. Just talking about it. Here's the easy news, how to make some clickbait, pretty much. Who was there even? Let's see. Let's see who was there. Well, what says here is the Strange Scaffold, developer of Hypnospace Outlaw, Stranger Things VR. Was a theory crafting about the negative effect that it will cause on the industry. Apparently that's who started. Yeah, and then just a bunch of people joined. So like Obsidian, Blizzard, Insomnia Games, Epic Games. So you shouldn't use one game to set the standards in the genre and stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know, dude. Have more publicity after the Bear incident, yeah. Well, it seems like, just some devs kind of like theory crafting how it can like have some negative impact and stuff. I just don't know. Like, I mean, I kind of like also to theory craft and discuss things, but I don't really see the negative impact. Like, if anything, you could kind of complain about Starfield or something, right? Because it's gonna be like huge with insane scope, with so much stuff going on, and with so much time and budget going into it. Like, if anything, I would complain about that, to be honest. Then, because like in terms of Larian, I mean, it's gonna be a good RPG, but I don't think it's gonna be like something like just like to lose your shit. It's just like Divinity 2 again, just more, better, and the main thing is again the budget on voice acting, which is not something innovative, something you can't achieve. Let's put it that way. The Insomniac molding. Let me see, what did they say? A design manager from Insomniac Games agreed that using one game as a standard in the genre is useless and dumb. That's pretty much it. And I don't think anyone really does. Like, I don't think why they even started that. Like, we're not really comparing, like... Well, we're comparing usually, but when that, like, makes more sense, I guess. Like, Diablo with Path of Exile, for example, being compared, right? Kind of makes sense. It doesn't mean that there should be some sort of, like, there is, like, a standard, like the golden standard. Is molding the other molding? No. He does mean that the game shouldn't be like, there shouldn't be one standard. So like they started like talking how the game is great and it will become the new standard of like the games. And he said that there should be no game that should become the standard of the games, because not everyone can reach that standard. But that's the thing. It's also kind of like talking from this like AAA perspective, and then the same time there's a bunch of like indie studios who never really even tried to reach that standard ever before, and who already could complain before, like, yo guys, you at AAA studios, they're making such graphics, you already have some voice acting and that stuff, and we here in our indie circle just making those little unique cool games, and we're still feeling good. It's basically just kind of like a bunch of like Twitter talking and theory crafting, and people just exploded it. That's the thing, like it's like some separate one, like some designer manager like writing something, and people probably saw that and saw where he's from, and they already connecting the dots, and they say like Insomniac, is against that, and like and they just like blowing out a proportion there. Can't even pay for a trailer, yeah. The game's too good, can't keep up. And look at the fucking battle bit, yeah. That's the thing. Like the indie games and everything with no budgets, they do good. But they do good. It might be kind of hard probably for you to compete when all you do is just kind of like bloating and bloating and bloating, because you can't like innovate. You just need to get more, to get like, it's basically like a lot of AAA in my opinion nowadays. It's just basically you kind of need to become not like more interesting or something. You need to become bigger than other one. You need to be like, more beautiful with more stuff, more things to do, more bloat, more mechanics on top of that bloat. And that's how you kind of like defeat others basically and get your spot. Because you can't really like innovate, because innovation is a risk. You instantly can like hit or miss, right? You like do something super new, it might be, like big pog, or it might be like complete failure, and then all those millions invested by your publisher, they just go down the drain, and you kind of like rip. Looking at like Daedalic with Golem, for example, right? I mean, they didn't even really innovate. They just failed at executing the usual stuff technically, right? But like kind of similar. Like you just fail and then down you go completely. And when you try to innovate, it's even easier. So that's why everyone is like sticking to the same working concepts and just trying to kind of like, like get that concept more and more. That's why you see like, oh, that's a nice game. And now like, all right, we go on top, RPG system on top, crafting system on top, farming system on top. Like the mecha game that they showed on one of the events, right? It's like nice mecha action game, seems good, and you can also plant crops and everything, and then you can craft stuff out of this. Like, bro, why? This is already a good game. Like like the gameplay loop is good. Why do you need all that now? Concepts get watered down the more people are involved. I mean, that kind of too, huh? That kind of too. But even like in general, I think it's just like when the budgets become like hundreds of millions, risking it on like some sort of like, experimental vision is becoming kind of a little bit of a gamble, right? It's like Kojimbo doing that, right? He doesn't give a shit. He's still a Kojimbo, he's still gonna get all those millions, right? And his stuff, he'll still, even like the more experimental it is, the more people will buy it. Maybe not instantly, but in time, they're gonna eat it anyway. So he just like goes and does whatever he wants. Big company that is not like tied to one person, they can't really do that. Which again probably is the problem, because a lot of them is not one designer, right? There's some big person who has a vision. But they have like team of designers, and then someone is like, well, this idea, and they're like, nah, dude, that's kind of meh. So in the end, it kind of becomes this like, averaged out, like kind of cut, like dumbed down thing that everyone kind of agrees on, in my opinion. But that might be also downsides of being like one person driven. Like look at Ken Levine, right, with the Judas, right? Like how many was like 80 years, I think, of like just kind of like studio just like spinning the budgets and nothing happening, literally zero out of it, because he has a vision, but like, that ain't it, we need to redo that, So it's all of them has some issues, eh? Hell yeah. But since 16 kind of gambled on it. That actually, I think in terms of Final Fantasy, that's actually kind of reverse process. Like from niche of like turn-based kind of JRPGs, they just kind of like went towards like more action stuff to get more audience. At least that's what Yoshida said, right? Like they just want to appeal to like more an audience and get more people to enjoy the game. So in their case, I think it's kind of other way. They actually did go from some sort of like a little unique thing to something more, wide. Yeah, you could have went in the opposite direction. They already had wide appeal of action game, and then boom, they went like turn-based. That was cool. I think that's a cool thing. See, I don't know. I think it's kind of like, I think that just shows that, if you're like big in the industry and stuff, and you have your own Twitter and other social media, you should probably kind of like think what you're writing. Guys just kind of discussed, the potential repercussions, which I think kind of overblown, but, I guess they kind of like scared as parts of the market that, might affect them kind of. So you just like posted something there and boom, instantly the whole company is already like, in the hater camp. It wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even that bad. Not to mention that the dude who started it, like Stranger Things VR and Hyperspace Outlaw, they are not even like in the same, league completely. Like I don't think people from who play games like that will expect, some super high quality. Like super high, like not even quality, but like the bling on top of that, like all the VI, voice acting, all the graphics and everything. Like people who play like Hyperspace Outlaw or something, I doubt it. You're right. Continue. It's a nice topic to rant about too. Huh? It's really easy to get into that. Like you sometimes can get into some rant, some discussion with yourself or someone else, and then yeah, some people like just assume that it's you hating and the whole company is hating too already. Let's see. A Video Game History Foundation brings the game industry's long-standing issues with proper game preservation to light. A study finds nearly every pre-2010 video game is unavailable. Nearly every? That sounds a little a stretch. The commercial unavailable, alright. Video games released between 1975 and 1979 have availability rate of 89%. The early 90s has 19.33%. Coming in behind the 90s at 2005-2009, 17.89%. Less than 3% of games released before 1985 remain in print today. Well, I guess, yeah. In that way, yeah. If they take like commercial availability, I guess that makes sense. Let's see. The abandonware laws, yeah. Yeah, that is actually kind of like a bit of a problem, yeah. Like in the end, I have a feeling down the line, like all those like organizations and people will be thinking like pirates and everything because like all those games will exist in that format because otherwise like they would disappear sorta. There's a bunch of games that are completely like gone. Like, no one lives forever. Like the Matrix Reloaded and stuff. Like there's like a bunch of games that even I kind of looked into playing, and they like nowhere to be found. Like completely obscure, God knows where. Attributed industry's preservation issues to Electronic Software Association, saying the organization has consistently fought against expanding video game preservation within libraries and archives. Yeah, at least in my opinion, like any game in my opinion should be available through like libraries and stuff. I think that would be kind of nice way to kind of like rejuvenate the libraries in a way, right? Because obviously not that useful nowadays going there getting books, still useful, right? But like way less. But you would get like the library to be also kind of like this hub where you can access like a bunch of like older games, somewhat newer even games in my opinion should be fine. If someone goes to play like in library for a bit, new game, I mean, why not? Why not? That's already up to library to deal. It's not like library is gonna have like thousands of people sitting there playing their games all the time. They just don't have that capability there really. But that would be nice. So you could have like libraries to perform that feature. Kind of like some games and studios allow their games to like educational purposes and stuff. It kind of makes sense with like the games that are more educational, kind of like the Zachtronics games, for example, right? Like all the coding related ones. Good stuff, super relevant stuff. But there's a bunch other games I think that also kind of would deserve such treatment. And not just, educational games, but just games that you could kind of like research sort of from the perspective of even like writing and everything. Sega greenlights a blockchain game based on immensely popular series. Didn't we just like recently read about the fact that Sega is kind of, out of it, no plans anymore? I guess, they got offered enough. Sega of America staffers vote yes to unionizing. So now that's the biggest union, I think. Biggest gaming union in US. Alright, what else? Electronic Arts opened new AAA studio called Cliffhanger Games to develop a Black Panther title in partnership with Marvel Games. Right after all the cuts and everything they had then, the firing people, now it's time to open the new studio. And probably recruit a bunch of new people. And Denuvo vows to prove that its DRM tech doesn't impact game performance once and for all. Damn, son, well, show us. We'll see. We will see. And rehire those that fire significantly less, yeah. Esports will remain an official medal sport at the Asian Games Aichi Nagoya 2026. Damn, that esports. Damn, Fallout New Mexico now. Fallout Nuevo Mexico. Got the first trailer. Damn, another dank mod, eh? We're gonna be eating once they actually release all of them, which will take a while probably. And Jeff Grubb again mentioned that Final Fantasy IX Remake is real and it's being developed. Creators of Diablo 4 suggested players that are bored at the last stages of the game take a break, waiting for the first season, and play something else. Damn, what a good advice. That is actually really good advice, and I would love to follow that advice. But where were you earlier, man? I'm already like 95 and like 5 levels away. I want to finish that already. I would gladly. My friend's already also like molding, who's already 100 especially. Like one of them is just like trying to farm the PvP items and everything, while there is no one to PvP quietly, just to unlock skins and stuff, because no one gives a shit about PvP since it's like barbarian and rogue galore nowadays. And we're just going in like getting like 1 level a day usually, and then everyone is out pretty much. I will take a couple of days off from that on my day off. Like tomorrow and Thursday I'm off. I'm probably gonna be off from Diablo too. I just need to deal already with other stuff. Too much shit to deal with, eh? Diablo eating all the free time. But I kinda want still to get that 100 already, whatever. About time. And most people should be gone by then. Yeah, we'll see, we'll see. Well, that's the thing, like the season is kinda like I don't think a lot of like usual, normal players will return for this season. I think a lot of people don't care. It's mostly for like, the nerds, the ARPG nerds. And for ARPG nerds, I don't know if that season will be like very enticing. Even though, I mean, they were running Diablo 3 and people were still returning for those garbage seasons, so maybe it will work. I mean, I will play it anyway. probably before I kind of like until I kind of, you know, burnt out and everything. I'm gonna play and at least maybe try to get like some unlocks and stuff done, especially since we're gonna be playing with friends. That's like the main thing that carries. If we wouldn't be playing with friends, I probably already would like uninstall for a while, just so I can deal with other things in the evenings, because all my evenings are Diablo now. And like finish the stream, grab some food, maybe do some real quick, and then like 6 p.m. latest, probably European time, we're already in Diabloing, and then I go to bed after that, basically. Still be an okay week. I mean, for now, there's still a lot of classes that I haven't played, a lot of builds I haven't played. So I think for a while, for a few seasons, it's gonna be completely fine because you just try new classes, try new builds and everything. So at least like how much 4 more seasons should be completely loaded, because I'm gonna be trying different classes and everything, different characters, and then hopefully it will be already something good for seasons. Let's see. What else do we have? Legend of Heroes Trails into Riverrain was the only new entry in the UK physical charts this week. The weeb stuff is even getting in the charts. Holy shit, alright. Baldur's Gate 3 hardcore mode will be actually hardcore. Alright. Interesting. EA Sports FC 24 Ultimate Edition cover revealed, and that's the stuff people are memeing on it. Seems like it, Rajan. Seems like it. More Mortal Kombat 1 details will be revealed on Gamescom at the end of August. They're gonna be there too. Sam Lake says that Alan Wake 2 will satisfy those who enjoy the labyrinth in Control. Well, wouldn't say it was like something super crazy enjoyable, but I mean, it wasn't bad. Alright, this we saw yesterday. Whoop. Oh, yeah, the Starfield book is still going. 1071 pages. 86,000 words. Damn, son. That dude is still going, getting all the info on the Starfield in one go, in one place. You remember Labyrinth? It was like this, like with the rotating rooms and everything, where you kind of fly and they're like all over the place, with like the weird music playing with lyrics, I think. Head of Blizzard said that the rumors about Diablo getting to Game Pass are wrong. Yeah, I think it's a bit too soon for that. But it probably will get there eventually. You're right. Especially when the expansion, closer to expansion releases, they probably will add Diablo, I feel. Get out Diablo to Game Pass, and then people try it, and then, you know, well, here's expansions, and you don't not gonna get them on Game Pass, so you gotta buy that. We'll see, though. Alright. Let's go do a little more Xenonauting. I catch some more LMOs. A little more LMOs. But again, kind of like cold outside, but inside still a little too much. It's 17 outside. Not super hot, at least inside, but yeah, could be better. Could be better considering the outside weather. Alright, get the camera. Could be a little more fresh, I say. Probably because of about the rain or something. A little muggy there.